Hello, welcome to my channel, and in today's video we are going to continue with our Tally ERP9 education. We are going to continue with the lessons on Tally, and in the first video we looked at what Tally is about and what to expect when you open Tally as a fresh user. And in the second video we looked at how to create a company, so how we create a company in Tally. In today's video we are going to look at the new gateway of Tally after you create a company, and how we create ledgers in Tally. So today we are going to look at um, gateway of Tally after creation of company and ledger creation. So we first looked at the first gateway of Tally, that is before you create a company, how the gateway of Tally is, and after you create a company, how the gateway of Tally looks like. So that's what we are going to do for today. So we go to our Tally. Now we have our company, Kofi Kondo company. So after creating the company, the gateway of Tally is change. When you come to the right side of the gateway of Tally, you can see instead of company info, select company, we can now see masters. And then the masters, we have accounting informations, we have inventory information, we have transaction. Under the transaction we have accounting vouchers, inventory vouchers, we have imports, and we have reports. So under the masters, that's where we create our inventory, stock of inventory. That's where we create our we create our ledgers and our groups. And the transactions, that's where we record the various transactions a company or a business is going to deal with. So that's where we record them. So we have accounting vouchers. So the vouchers contains the transaction you need as a business owner or as an accountant to record your transaction. Then import. So if you have a data which is saved in Tally extension file or Excel, you can import it. Then we have report. So after everything, as an accountant, you need to generate your report. So you can get your trial balance, you can get your stock summary, final account. Then when you go to display, you will see trial balance. So you can display your trial balance, you can display your day book, you can display your account books, statement of account, inventory book, statement of inventory, list of accounts, then a session report. So that's what we see under the report. So today we are going to look at how we create a ledger. Now to create a ledger, how do we create a ledger? How do we create a ledger in Tally? How do we create a ledger in Tally? So to create a ledger in Tally, these are the following ledgers we are going to create. So we are going to create sales export, purchase or local purchase, wages and salary. So these are ledgers we are going to create. But then let's look at how we create a ledger in in Tally. So to create a ledger in Tally, first we go to gateway of Tally. We go to gateway of Tally. When you go to gateway of Tally, if with Tally Prime you go to company info, but if you don't have Tally Prime and we're using Tally ERP9, we go to gateway of Tally. Then we do we select masters. When we select masters, we select accounting info. So this is what I'm talking about. When you go to gateway of Tally, so if it was Tally Prime and like gateway of Tally, we have the masters and the company info. But since it's Tally ERP9, to create ledger, we go to gateway of Tally. That's the first step. Gateway of Tally. Then we go to masters. So after going to gateway of Tally, this is the gateway of Tally. We go to masters. After masters, where do we go to? We go to account information. We go to account information. So we select account information. Now under account information, we have we have groups, we have ledgers. we have voucher types. So what we are going to do is what? To create a ledger. Now groups are what? They are also ledgers, right? They are ledger heads. You can call them what? Ledger heads. So let's take it that we have uh, fixed assets, right? A fixed asset can be what? A group. So under the fixed assets, we have what? Various items under the fixed asset. That's where we can have your motor vehicle, your fixtures and fittings. So those are the ledgers under what? A group. So ledgers under what? Group. So a group serves as what? A header. So like fixed assets, and under the fixed assets, what? We have the ledgers, right? Being motor vehicle and other things. We will come back to those ones. So we are learning how to create a ledger. So we go to what? We go to gateway of tally first. When we go to gateway of tally, we go to masters. Under masters, we go to accounting info. And accounting info, we select what? Ledgers. So when you select ledgers, you go to what? We have the single ledger and we have multiple ledger. So you can decide, maybe you have we use the single ledger when we are creating maybe just one ledger under what? A particular group. But we use the multiple ledgers when you are creating what? Maybe you have a group, like I said first, fixed asset, and you have various what? Items under the fixed asset. Then it's advised you use what? It's advisable you use what? The multiple ledgers. That's where you can just create them all and just put them under the single group. But if you are creating just a single one, then you have to use what? So we will create ledgers using both the single ledger and what? The multiple ledger. So to create ledger, we select create. So we go to gateway of tally, we go to masters, we go to account info, we select what? Ledger. Then we go to create. So we have create, we have display. So after creating, you can display what? The various ledgers you have. Now Tally ERP 9 has what? Its default what? Ledgers. So they've created some default ledgers. So to see these default ledgers, we'll go to display and we have them. So the default ledgers in what? Tally ERP 9 is what? Cash and what? Profit and loss account. These are the default ledgers. So they've created them for you already. So we come back. Then where we have alter is maybe you created a ledger and you spelled it wrongly. You have what? You spelled your you made a mistake with the group where you're supposed to put that ledger. You go to what? Alter to what? To alter it. So now let's go to the ledgers we are going to create for today and see. So with the ledgers we are going to create for today, we have what? We have to create the following ledgers. We have sales local, we have sales export, we have purchase local, we have wages and salary, we have social security contribution, advertising expenses, amortization expenses, legal expenses. So we go to our gateway of tally, and we will create all these ledgers. So in the part 1 of this video, we are going to create up to what? Wages and salary. In the part 2, we'll continue with what? Ledger creation. So in the part 2, we are going to look at what? The groupings too. So we are going to look at the groupings too in the part 2. So let's create our ledger. Now we have sales local. So we go to tally. How do we create a ledger in tally? We know the steps already. So we go to our tally. Now we have our tally here. Let's create our ledger. We have what? Sales local. So I'm creating a single ledger. So after selecting what? Create, you'll see we have at the top a ledger creation. So which one am I creating? I'm creating sales local. So where do I put sales local? Where do I put sales local? So we have under what? So I'll select sales local is supposed to be under sales account. So you select the sales account. So the sales account here becomes what? The group. So the sales account becomes what? The group. So after creating the ledger, we put the ledger under a group. Good. So we have our sales account selected. Inventory valued are affected. Yes. Then if you have opening balance, you will enter opening balance. But this time we are doing without the opening balances. So we continue. Then yes, we accept. Then we go to our next transaction, right? So we are done creating that one. When you accept, they open another page for you to what? To create another ledger. So the next ledger we are creating is what? We have sales export. So we have what? Sales export. So we go back to our what? Our tally, and we create what? Sales export. So we create our sales export. So sales export, and sales export will be under what? Sales account, because we used what? Sales account as our group already. It will be there unless you change it. So we have our sales export and our sales account. Yes, yes, yes. We don't have any account balance. Then what? We save it. So we save. Which one is the next uh, ledger we are to create is what? The next ledger we are to create is what? We have purchases local. So we have our local purchases. Then we have wages and salaries. So we have our local purchases, our local purchases. So we go to what? Our tally. Then we go to what? Our local purchases. So you type local purchases, local purchases, local purchases. So local purchases will be under what? Purchase account. So you just select P in the list of what groups will show. You select our purchase account. We don't have any account what balance or any opening balance, so we save it. Yes. And the next one we are creating is what? Wages, wages and salary. Wages and salaries. Wages and salaries. So wages and salaries are what? The direct expenses, right? So we put them under what? Direct expenses. So you select your direct expense, you put it under it, you save, you don't have any balance, you save. Yes. So we are done with the ledgers we are creating for today. In our next video, in the part 2 of this video, we are going to do what? We are going to continue with the ledger creations, and we'll look at the groups into details, how to record under the groups. So we'll look at how we create what, how we create ledgers, and to create ledger, we go to what? Gateway of tally, we go to what? Masters, and the masters we go to account info, and the account info we go to what? And the account info we go to ledgers, we select ledger, then we create ledger. Thanks for watching today's video. Please make sure you subscribe, help us by subscribing, and turn on the notification button so that you don't miss out what the next video. Thank you all. Bye bye.